Hello teacher and students, my name is Camila Neira and today I will talk about my 4-lesson plan. The topic of this lesson is the news media. I will be teaching the third baccalaureate grade. The duration of my lesson will last 45 minutes. The proficiency level is intermediate B2.2. And the lesson designer is my person, Camila Neira Rodriguez. First of all, to be able to create a lesson plan, it's very important to always focus on the objectives. I will focus on 4 different objectives which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Let's talk about them. In the listening objective, students will be able to identify new vocabulary, refer to Ecuadorian news. In the speaking objective, students will be able to speak about news using the new vocabulary acquired. In this case, students will be using the passive voice. In the reading objective, students will be able to recognize the verbs in their correct form, which is the passive voice. And last, students will be able to write about some important news about Ecuador with the use of the new vocabulary words. My other part of the lesson plan is the methodology and strategies that I will use in my lesson plan. The methodology are communicative language teaching and total physical response and audiolingual method. And the strategies I will use in this lesson are the whole class work, conversation, review of the worksheet answer, and pair work, which I will focus on the speaking activities. Each class has a small anticipatory set, which will help students to enroll into the learning topic. In this case, the teacher will start the course by talking about the importance of knowing about news around the world. The teacher will tell students a relevant news of the country, which is right now happening, COVID, and how important it is that everyone knows about it and how we have to live in the pandemic. Next, my main teaching input is about how I will enroll my class. This is the structure of my class and the things that I would like to do during this class. First, as I said before, we always start with a warm activity because it is very important that the students have some space on their mind and put some thoughts away and center into the topic. And this activity is really fun. I guess all the students like to always start with a warm-up activity where they have the chance to achieve something new. So the teacher will start the class with a small reflecting activity to give students an idea of the learning topic. The teacher will ask the students if they like to read, hear, or watch news, and which devices they use to get informed. And this question will be just for students who would like to participate, but it's really great when all the students are able to participate and say their opinions. Then the teacher will show students some actual news around the world and teach them some new vocabulary. The students will review the grammar, which is passive voice, and the method will be audiolingual. Teacher handles students a small worksheet with some grammar and reading exercises. They have to read and fill out the blank space. This will be a communicative activity. The teacher walks around the class and makes sure that the students are assessing the topic or if they need some help. Then the teacher and the students will check grammar and reading answer, and everyone will have the chance to participate. In this case, I will use the total physical response method. Learners will write about an important news in the country or around the world. They have to use the passive voice to address the activity, and the news should be not more than 6 lines. So it's very important for me not how long they write. Instead, I focus on how good they are writing their sentences using the new vocabulary. And that's why I don't give them so long assignments, because I know that during the class, that's very impossible that the students have the chance to write longer sentences. They will need more time. Indeed, I think it's very important for me just to focus on some small sentences, and at the end of the class, they may have an assignment to be done at home. The students will discuss their writing news with his or her partner and inform themselves about the new world news. The teacher will walk around students, hearing their pronunciation and helping them when they have some questions about the topic, or when they don't know about some new vocabulary or the pronunciation of a word. I will be always around assisting them. To conclude the class, the teacher will ask the students some final questions related to the topic. Modeling, it's another section of my lesson, which it talks about that at the beginning of the class, students will start with a warm-up activity to involve the learning topic. It is always very important for them to have an interactive activity before they start the learning, to learn something new in the class. And this new activity at the beginning of the class will help them to have better results later on in the lesson. A guided practice. Students will develop some pair work. They will discuss about news around the world and why is it important to always inform themselves about what is happening in the world. This activity is very much a common activity for all the students, because they will be able to learn in pairs or with the whole class about the things that are happening around the world. And I think this topic is very relevant, because nowadays all the students are on their phones and they are using different applications, but they are not usually reading news, and that's for me really important, because they have to know about what is going on around the world. Then independent practice is also very important, as I said before in all my lessons, and students need to always focus on their independent work and work by themselves, so I can really evaluate how much they are approaching the lesson and how much help they need to be able to master this topic. So students will develop some independence work, such as grammar, reading, and writing activities. They will have to aim the passive voice grammar and apply it in all the later tasks. Then assessment. The teacher will show students some pictures and videos about news and explain them the importance of hearing, reading, and watching news. As I said before, it's very important that the students always know about what is going on in the world and learn some different news, not just about Ecuador, which is very important because they live there and they have to know what is going on, such as the possible the future presidential elections, but around the world it's going on a huge pandemic, which is very important for me that the students know what is going on. Closing view and follow-up. To conclude the class, the teacher will ask students to write at home a very important news. They have to write where it takes place, the date and relevant aspects of the news with the use of new vocabulary. In this case will be the passive voice. To finish the class, the teacher will ask students some questions related to the topic to make sure everyone understood the topic. I always will ask some final questions in my class to see if students really understood the topic, so I can therefore evaluate how the class was made and make sure that the students will do a great job in the future, knowing that they are mastering the topic. Thank you very much.